All right, who's ready? I'm back. Let's get it, kids. How you doing today? Hey, how you doing? I'm all right. I'm good. Wanted to catch up with everybody. A little summer break, but not too much to check back in with the crew. What's happening? Great to see everybody. How you doing here on a Tuesday? Amazing. August 5th. Great to see everybody. And let's get right to it. Let's hit up the hit subscribe, hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the content of what we have. I got to get my act together here. Give me a sound check and give me a visual check. I think we're in a line now. Great to see you. What's up, David? Guy. Yohomito. What's up, Mr. Kennedy, Wes, everyone else, Cactus Leo, Rafael. What's going on? Sup? Sup, Rafael? Can you show how you put your channel on long-term NQ? We're going to start there. Let's do a big overview. We're going to dive into Bitcoin. Thanks, guys. Any issues, let me know. I'm out of my normal habitat, but not totally, not normal for me, but just got to make sure. Any issues, let me know. And here's your daily Bitcoin update. Guys, I don't know why. Can we have a talk first of all? What's up, Rooster? Great to see you guys. Awesome. Glad you guys are excited. Hit that like. Please subscribe. We're here Tuesday, Thursday. I try for 12:30, but it just kind of always gets past me. Regardless, we get the levels, we get the harmonic info right now, because people are freaking out again. And when thinking that Bitcoin is topped out, really? Topped out? Anybody think Bitcoin is topped out? When we've got major progress, and then again, check out what's going on. 4-hour time frame is your friend, people. The 4-hour time frame, and look what harmonic pattern collection generated over the last 24 to 48 hours, which was a beautiful 4-hour crab. 111, 242. 111, what did we say all along? T1 down here at 111, all for the crab pattern. Bitcoin just doing normal harmonic things that it does and loves. So I don't, I don't know where. I received some comments where someone's posted, hey, I think it's going to 60,000. And I said, hey, I think it's going to 160,000. So let's play a little chicken and see what happens. But the bigger news is the fact is that the patterns are sticking hard. They really are. I mean, again, guys, the crypto market blows me away with how amazing the harmonic patterns have been. So you guys know what to do. Get over to our lovely harmonictrader.com free 2-week trial. Send your HPC TradingView username, to HPC at sr-analyst.com. You get a 14-day free trial. All right, get over to Harmonic Trader, become a basic member. Enough of that. Who wants a 30-day access? HPC 30 will win you 30 days to this amazing software. 30 days to my gold channel as I return soon from vacation. And 30% off if you want to purchase. That's the triple 30. Triple 30. HPC 30 gets you that. Please, if you've won before, hold off. And we have a new winner. T Goody 81, you win, my man. You need to get over to the Discord, and I'll get that to you in a second. Sorry, I got to get that Discord link. Anyway, get there, harmonictrader.com. If you have any questions, guys, all the resources, especially new folks, okay, please start there for free, 2 weeks, including the software. All right, and then subscribe. That's how we do it. Okay, great to see you guys. Come on in. Oh, got more and more people coming in. That's great. Uh, I gotta get you that link. Hold on. I'm gonna plop the link in. And here we go. Thank you. Anybody else? Look, guys, if you have questions about what we're doing, or you just want to say hi, hit me on the Discord, okay? And here's that link in the chat right now. Thank you. Appreciate the Discord, David. Thank you, guys. I'm really slow. I don't have my setup here. Anyway, let's jump over to Bitcoin. Congratulations, T Goody. DM me. But what does it all mean? What does it all mean? Well, first of all, we just got to stick on the 4 hour. So going forward from now till January till 160K and then some, we're going to stay on this 4 hour stair-step harmonic pattern sequence and continue to respect the levels, the confirmation, like we saw here, right at that big run. I mean, just amazing pattern framework. And now we have another setup where we're looking at a couple things. And I want you to know how critical this 111 area is. We had the initial reaction. This was back from amazingly already mid-July. So we're 3 weeks into this pattern. And it's just becoming a dud. Yeah, it retraced. And it's down 10% off the all-time high. But it's still a dud. There's no severe action here. And if anything, we're coming in for the type 2. So 111K Bitcoin. And we'll be looking for this completion on Bitcoin down there at 111. I think 111. Even a hop test, that would be great. So there's the type 1, come down for the 2. And then what are we looking for, which is what I wanted to talk about today, a final retrace on all of these scenarios. We're looking for this to set up counter HSI continuation dots on the daily time frame, which Bitcoin did. If you're not aware of Harmonic Strength Index, that is our proprietary harmonic indicator, only available on this program. And look what happened. In the retrace of the last 3 weeks, we're now officially have turned around oversold. Still early. Hold on. Never good to run out of battery while on stream, right? Told you guys, I'm not even in my setup here. There you go. Let's go. And this is just a powerful potential setup. We were here and yesterday triggered it. Great. Does that mean automatic go? No. We're probably 2 more days. Today's check back day. Maybe tomorrow and Thursday we get some green bars to give us a dot. And then we go. So this week is probably the week we finish the consolidation and we start to move higher above HSI 50. And then Amplified does not look like it's ready, doesn't it? Amplified's not ready yet. So that helps us to kind of say, relax. Let's tag 111. That's 2,000 lower from current levels. But super constructive, and we've been here before. Truly not a surprise. And if anything, look, what we're doing with crypto and all of the analysis is within the harmonic pattern framework. Yes, my long-term targets are minimum 160 before the end of the year. I'm going to stick to that like we stuck to 102.5 all last year. But what we're looking for are these places where you get the surge up, retrace, go again, retrace, go again. That's the natural market mechanism, buying and selling. Bitcoin is not immune to it. Yet we see people jumping out of windows on a 5, 7, 10% correction. Look, the beta in crypto is what is it? I think Sailor even says like 5 times the volatility in the normal market, but we're not surprised. So stick with it. Also, I wanted to say that our session. So anybody, our winner today, want to let you know everybody that wins is able to go to our session September 1st, Monday. That will be our strategy, our 2026 kind of gear up, because we're going to have this run into the end of the year that will lead us into next year. And next year, I just think things are, the narrative against political leadership or whatever has zero bearing on what the markets are doing. The markets are receiving fresh allocation. Economy is strong AF. You have a lot of major events in the next year or two here in the United States that's going to drive economic activity, it's a no-brainer. I mean, people, we've got the World Cup coming to North America. Do you know what that's going to do to the economy? You think Taylor Swift gave a boost? Okay, and what was that, 2022 when she did her thing? And everyone was talking about what that did for the economy. I mean, the World Cup's coming. Economy strong, folks. I just, I think underlying all these people that are trying to basically argue against something, it's a personal political ploy and really not based on charts. So here's the Bitcoin weekly, and nothing's, again, the whole train track path to higher prices remains. So we get fluctuations, not a big deal. We get retracements. We get a 1618 advance. We get a 618 retracement. That is how the market works. So absolutely big stuff. Underlying, the underlying also, I don't think you could ask for more. So all these naysayer bears thinking that the market's going to go down. I'm sorry, guys. Give me some harmonic reasons to get into that, but I just don't really. I'm not there. So what are we looking for at Bitcoin to start the move? Right? We need Bitcoin to start the move. What about the likes of Ethereum? Because take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum needs to do the big breakout, but it's not yet. And this is probably going to be the sign, the signal, the coin that will actually get the rest of crypto going. There's our assessment for Ethereum. We are now up against like a tertiary, it's actually a fourth peak in this massive wedge, but it still needs time. All of the stuff right now at this immediate juncture is saying, okay, we need to retrace a little bit. Let's not, Ethereum from 15 to 38, that was a hell of a move. But let's get out of this long-term 3-4 year downtrend. We cannot assume anything until Ethereum does that. What's that? Hey, Alec, what's going on? You saying extreme RSI is on the downside for Bitcoin? Well, I don't know about that. Here, I'll go back really quick, just because you brought it up. The Bitcoin scenario here, guys. Look, I'm not, this is amplified. Our bottom indicator is our hypersensitive amplified RSI. Those that use it love it and know that it's going to be a lot more responsive than standard RSI. We are just in this short-term downtrend. Once we break out and pivot, I would say we're probably like where we were a year ago, or excuse me, back here in June and July, and then even last summer. I remember being on vacation last summer, and we had that big drop down, and then we get triggers. This is a lot tamer, if anything, stronger, and that's at the midpoint line. Yeah, I don't know. I think we got to go off of HSI exclusively, and if anything, this is a major signal. This HSI, their major signal, just like what we had back in July. It just is what it's telling me. and should say to you is that, hey, this is just a dud. It's just a brief retrace. And is it the last retrace before we can really get going? Because again, 115 was the trigger number. We come back now. 111 is that pullback retest, and then go higher. Also, the median line shouldn't budge. So then that means for like Ethereum, I think a similar type of deal. But look, Ethereum on the daily just printed a counter HSI, which means this little retrace about $500 was it. So if we get a counter dot and we start moving higher, like here on Ethereum, that would be the signal for me. This is a powerful, I want to be the first to admit, I really was just not thinking that Ethereum would recover from being down at 1500. And it's still not resolved this big wedge, but so be it. I mean, again, if we can eventually break above this area, then we go. It is a AM radio, man. I had problems with it. But if the microphone sucks, tell me. You can say it. It sucks. But I'm doing my best. Hold on. Can I make it a little better? Oh, of course. That's going to be better. I promise you. That's going to be, hold on. This will be a lot better. Great. A lot better. Awesome. Mitch Ray. What's up? Mitch Ray's in the house. What's up, Mitch? How are you? I needed to get out of town, brother. It was just, my brain was starting to melt. But thanks for showing up today. Great to see you. How you been? I saw that crazy heat. Crazy heat. Crazy Miami burning. Regardless. Guys, Ethereum's like this. Okay. And I think there's better plays here. But just waiting for the 4 hour. Last 4 hour was down. And like I said, I think the daily stuff needs a few more days, at least on Bitcoin. You are right, Mr. Casa. I do have a string tied to a can. Oh, man. Ay, ay, ay. Is it really that bad? We got to get better. Anyway, I'll listen to this later, and then I'll have to probably go buy a new computer on the road. Anyway, let's go check one or two others that I want to talk XRP and I want to talk XLM. They're look down here daily, similar situation. You guys see how all of these just generated oversold readings just yesterday across the board? This might be probably. This is a definitive higher HSI signal. This is XRP, guys, and this is actually a potential massive continuation. But let's check it back. That low there around 270-ish. And the thing about XRP, we had a hop rejection. We talked about that last month at 355. I don't care about that. I really don't care about this. I'm interested in what happens to build from here to get above that 355 level and a close above 355. We do that, we're good, but listen, let it finish. We probably, I think by Thursday, we're going to be looking at some dots. Today is a check back day across the board. What's that mean? Well, with Harmonic Strength Index, it works like this. You trigger the oversold and come out of the zone. We did that. Now, final kind of divergence phase that we should be looking at is a retest of the signal and then develop two green bars, two bullish. And I would look for this by the next show on Thursday, so we finally make progress above the 50, and then that's it. Again, another situation that, hey, if this scenario is right and we're looking for that continuation, the next daily dot is your signal. Now, it might take several days, I think kind of like this last signal here. But the thing that is probably the most significant aspect of this daily trigger is the fact it's occurring at a higher level than the last signal. And sometimes to really signal a continuation, we get stuff like this where it's just, scraping the low, but then finally we get a higher signal, retrace, higher level continuation signal. That's critical. In the same way that something like that dot was a lower high than the prior signal. All right, that's development of a continuation. All of this stuff, we've really, look, again, we had no patterns down here. We had nothing. We had the bearish pattern. So what makes that so significant is we get the dot at a higher level, and then we continue and we break out. And that's how critical this area, call it 270, really is. Now, what is 270? What's 270? 270, if you guys remember, is the all-time, come on back here. Hold on, bear with me. Is the all-time 786. Let me bring this here. 786 looks like this. If I can get it. Come on, people. XRP 297 at the moment. There you go. Here's what it is. The all-time weekly. There it is. It's this retracement. This, I know it's really not familiar to most people, but I have to point it out. We can go X, A, B, C, D. What's the B point? 50. It's really close to a 618. I think that was the last time, but minimum 786. If it's a Gartley, it's there, 265, 270. If it's an 886, like there, 290-ish. All right. The bigger kind of suggestion, implication is that we poke through, we back test now, and we start the failure. That's why 355 is so critical and fits within a lot of what we talked about regarding kind of the prophecy, prophecy of Bitcoin, prophecy of XRP. I know there's a lot of haters, of XRP and whatever. We don't need to fight here. We just need to make money. I don't care. I'm looking for those areas and entries that trigger us long and get us to continue. Here's Stellar Lumens. Same type of deal. I mean, check this out. After the butterfly T2, now we have, actually, Stellar Lumens has a higher level dot. First time we have seen that. Oh, geez, we'd have to go all the way back to the low, the prior low. Again, focus on these dots. This retrace should be it. That little dot check back is like 37 cents. What's the strategy behind this is this, guys. Okay, especially for new folks. Understand, here's our harmonic pattern. On the retrace, it did the type 1 reaction. There's the T2. It was sloppy AF down here until we finally blasted. All of that's fine. This secondary higher level confirmation is where, if we're going to really blast, it's from here. It is from here. So this little retrace from 50 to 36, that should be it. Set it up. And we're talking over the next 2, maybe 3 weeks tops, we start to make that move higher. That's it. That's how critical the positioning of this last signal is. So hold me to it. We're going to see how this shakes out. But look, all of these are setting up where they're either coming off of patterns, they have 4-hour patterns, but they all have daily dots. That's what we want. Great to see it. Mr. Lasers says we're probably going to infinity on Bitcoin. I don't know how you do that, but you know, I think let's just call the Bitcoin prophecy is Bitcoin to 1 million. I mean, I know Sailor's calling for 3 million, other people are calling for 13 million. I just think if you want to fulfill the prophecy, it's Bitcoin 1 million. 1 million a coin. That's it. No biggie. Anyway, lumens, XRP, what else? Yeah, 30 to 50, but that's it. Quick look at others index. I think a great overview of, you know, when is the rest of this market going to do something? And the others probably has the most patterns of any of the indices. Okay, so take out the top 10. What do we have? Back to back to back. The bat to the other bat, bearish bat to the bullish bat to the shark. So many. What do you do? Well, we're looking for this final retrace. And I like to see this. I like to see the fact that actually we have a 5-0 pattern after the shark. Still need a dot. Can we get to target 1? Because that would be the signal that would finalize what started all the way back here in April. Perfect type 1. I mean, perfect. And look for that. Really what I'm saying here, guys, is that 1, don't freak out. You got to expect these kind of swings. All right, don't get too excited. Don't get too down. Wait for your dots. Even if you don't know anything about patterns, even if we took off, look, take off the patterns. And the patterns define the framework, but let's just go dot to dot. Really easy. I took off the patterns. Okay, now you guys tell me, if you open your chart, Harmonic Pattern Collection, you know where to get the trial. HPC at sr-analyst.com. But just say to yourself, what's the last dot I see up there? Okay, I'm expecting retrace or a come back in. What about back here? The last one's bullish, bearish. It's an oversimplification, but it was designed that way. You want to get clear on direction, follow the bouncing yellow dot. There, like there, April. That was classic. So be aware of that, please. Settle down and let's focus on measuring the market. Stay within the framework, okay? We have a bearish pattern. It's actually a type 2. Off of that shark, or no, it's not. It's the shark is a type 1. The T1 dollar sign was hit. So if I'm reading the chart, last pattern, bearish. Last yellow dot, bearish. So let it come in. Now we have the early stages. We got oversold on HSI. Remember, this represents the total, the rest of the crap coins. Take out the top 10. And then we're probably a day or two from busting up. I'll tell you this, for the others index, once we do this as well and we make that next inflection, both of those above 50, we're good. Couple more. What's up? Andrew wants to look at Gala, and I'm sure Justin is interested too. And I would love to hear about some ideas you guys might have of things that are overlooked, say. We've talked about Gala. I said this before. Some of the things that I've seen, where it's like, hey, that's interesting. Hey, that's a great application. Yet, look at the chart. So what are you going to do with that? I mean, you're all the way down there all time, basically scraping the low. We call this a recovery setup. And we don't really want recoveries. I mean, you could try maybe taking shots here. Gala, it has it set up with a lot of back-to-back patterns, like 1.3 cents, now 1.5. But we want trending, guys. We want trending. Thank you, Mr. Incredible. He says the others is a 11 to 125 rank. So yeah. But Gala, use that as an example of all the other crypto that are scraping all-time lows. Just look, keep it on your radar if you want, but there's better trending vehicles. Couple more. What's up, QP Joni? He wants to look at ENA. I think that's like this. ENA is like Gala, I think. ENA USDT. All right, not bad. That's a little better off the low, all-time low. But again, what's the pattern? Literally, what's the pattern here? Because sitting at a shark, I mean, this thing amazingly was 20 cents, went to 120, and a full reset for the 886. This is 98% of your crypto, kids. You go up, you come all the way back down for an 886 if you're not trending. Okay, if you're not trending, you're going to probably do something like this. And we could get a push on most crypto into the end of the year, but they're going to go up and probably come right back down. So ENA, if you really want to know, you just read it back to you. It's a shark. It's a type 1 shark. Shark to 50, 46 cents. Also, no yellow dot. No bullish dot. So we're going to want to wait and look for something here. Yeah. What's up, Laser's saying that the alts are poo-poo, and, you know, they have been for a while. What's up? Hogelio wants to look at Litecoin. You know, when Litecoin, because Litecoin really there you go. Starting to do something. Litecoin up here at 120. Maybe. I would say this. Look, Litecoin is the longer term, is this. There are a lot of crypto that look like this. Long term, basing action. I think a lot of people fundamentally, because it ties to Bitcoin, are looking to piggyback, yet this has never moved. Okay, the fact we have a Gartley here back at 70 and you're at target 2 at 115, maybe that's it for now. I like the fact that there's a weekly looking left here, but you know, I think just for right now, and that's the weekly, the daily, you're hitting levels. You're hitting lots of levels. In fact, you're checking back against HSI. You know, 117 is that Gartley. Maybe wait for $100. This, again, with the bearish patterns are still your friend. I would like to see something like this with Litecoin and anything else that has a bearish pattern currently over the next 30 days, come back down, hit T1, and then go through and fail. Couple more. Let's just kind of, I'll get to that in a second. Hyperliquid, is that Hyperliquid? Yes, it is. Hyperliquid like that. Yeah, we talked about hype because that thing was running when a lot of things were not doing as well at the 886, but you are at another jump on point around 37. I think even though it's relatively new, we could say that is trending. Okay, but what you do not want to see is this thing retrace more than like a 382, period. Hold on. Let me do it this way. And these are, a lot of these are like this. So like this to here. And where's the 382? Is like there. 34-ish. Anyway, that's hyper. What's up, Mr. Flowers? How you doing today? Great to see you. Let's get a couple more, and then I'll go to you, buddy. He wants to look at Coinbase. Let's go to Link. Link is another one of those that always had a good reputation. Always people are saying, yeah, Chainlink, that's going to be the next XYZ, the next Swift, the next Fed using Link for transfers, money transfers, all that. But where's the signal? Because we're on an uptrend, multi-year uptrend, slow, steady. It's like that. And we want to get on the next point, which is probably 14. We never got down to that full 9, but the bigger news is that Link is out of the downtrend for the year. What I want to see is give me a dot. Like all of these crypto in the last 24 hours, okay, it produced an HSI. But what I probably think will happen is today's check back day, retest day, and then like 1, 2. We'll get a dot somewhere down here, and then we'll start looking. We'll come back to that Thursday. Couple more. We'll do one more. What's that? GPU? GPU for Incredible. What's up, buddy? What's going on today? Where are you guys? Node AI. How come these haven't run? That's surprising. There's Node AI. Now, AI coins have not run, guys. They look mostly like this. Flatlining. Not saying that that's not an idea here. We have a big, deep crab. We've seen this before. This almost reminds me of FET AI from like a year ago. 34. We're under the XA level, 34.92. We just printed a dot. So I think you could start looking. Here's the strategy to go with, though. All right. You might have taken a couple shots here, gotten no place with this in the last 3 to 4 months. But now we're checking back. Like literally right now, this instant, we're retesting that yellow dot. That makes what's going on today, tomorrow, critical. Is this a potential jump on point for this? Possibly. Here's what you want to look for. Okay. If we're going to get any price acceleration, it will not start until after today. Because why? We're hitting the 50 level on HSI. That's a minimum. Leading indicator, minimum action to happen, hit the 50 before we can expect any follow through. Only problem is amplified is crushed, rejected at the 50. So again, you're probably a few more days before you can really take this thing seriously. And I point this out, it's a similar situation to so many of these type of crypto that it's just, you need to wait for that trigger. And I don't think stuff like this will pop until Bitcoin is running back at all-time new highs. Yeah, that's good. Let's get to Coinbase. For Richmond Flowers, the famous Richmond Flowers. Google him. Google him, his family. Dude's a legend. Great to see you today, Richmond. Richmond, here's Coinbase. What went on in the last 2 weeks with Coinbase? Anybody? What do you think that is? It's a type 2 at the hop level, 416. That was it. And what do you got to wait for now? Because the pattern, well, I was T2 off of the bat. Then we got the HSI dot. So let this come in until we get oversold again. I mean, that it is a type 2. I'm not saying target 2, but I'm saying this is still down and we can register something. Go to the daily. That's quite a 100-point drop, guys. 100 plus. Oh, come on. We are oversold. So check this out. So Coinbase and a lot of those are sitting deep oversold. You cannot, the next jump on point does not happen until this is resolved. So HSI has decided to spend more time right there, oversold. We got to pop out and get above the 50 before you can even consider that again. But remember, we've been on that. That was something all the way back here since the last bat pattern was like 180, 165, a whole bunch of levels down here. That was it. It played out. And, there's the all-time chart. Is it a double top at the IPO? That's a good question. I'm not really there yet, but certainly the fact you couldn't get above the all-time IPO price and continue is something, just another, I'm not concerned about it. It's a real ideal type 2 reversal, but within the bigger picture of things, we know where this goes ballistic, it'll be on a breakout above that area. For now, look, there was a lot built into this, but perfect type 2. And it's something, remember, we talked about that and CONL, C-O-N-L, the 2X. God, that looks a lot like Ethereum on the weekly. Here's the daily. We had a whole bunch of patterns down here. Are we going to come all the way back? Yeah, now 32. I wouldn't be surprised for a 25 retest off of all these patterns. But nice chart, nice moves. Trade it, don't marry it. Certainly. Couple more. What is RH? Is that RH is RH? RH? What is RH, my man? Or are you talking Robinhood? I don't know what. I have to look at that. Couple more. Hey, what's up, OO? We have a high school student here from Korea. Man, dude, don't your parents know that it's late over there? But welcome to the show. OO. I forget what RH was. Robert Half? No, that's RHI. Hood. Oh, Richard Hart? Oh, well, forget that. I mean, come on. Do you really think I'm going to believe anybody that wears Gucci sweatsuits? I don't care how much money he printed or whatever. Not my guy. Not my guy. Mitch knows all about that guy. That was a crazy interview Mitch did. Mitch Ray did an interview with him years ago. Quite a character. Robinhood, guys, what are we doing here? Robinhood at the 107 target. And it's like this. Yes, I'll jump over to S&P in a second and NASDAQ. But look, Robinhood and these other crypto-related exchanges, it's a butterfly, guys, at the 127, 107. So we're pausing. I would like to see a dot, which we could retest 110, 108. But we're getting up there. I mean, I will say this. Robinhood, I've always compared Robinhood and Palantir. So, and Palantir's all-time new highs today at 175. Robinhood, I think, even if we pause here, have a retracement, I still like it longer term. I think Mitch probably stepped out. But Mitch was here earlier. Yeah. Nvidia for Sarah. Sarah, I'll do Nvidia, and then I want to go to the NASDAQ as a whole. Guys, Nvidia was 180 this morning. What did we say all along? 195 on Nvidia. 195 is a target. It's the 1618 price discovery move. That will be something we will be saying a lot of. We'll see a lot of these 1618 price discovery stuff. That's like there, 195, shy of 200, a little overspill like there. 210. And again, look at the chart. I don't care if it's 4 trillion or whatever. Look at that breakout. Truly a remarkable action. And guys, this is what a trending stock looks like. So if you have any question, okay, that's a trending stock. That's it. And we know what we had here. Bat pattern at the low. Okay, you do your extension. Surge up 1618, pull back. Surge 1618, pull back. 1618, pull back. That's not going to stop. Yeah, I don't know. Is Richard Hart even still in the United States? Because I heard he ran to Russia recently, or something happened to him. I don't know. Hey, if I had the crypto prowess to mint my own coin, I still wouldn't do it. There's a lot of things involved with that. I find tricky. I don't know. Maybe someday if I tie it to a HPC bot that gives people profits back. That was the only thing I thought about. Regardless, guys, NASDAQ, NQ, really quick, deep dive, S&P. We looked at this, but I want to circle back here. Okay. Where are we now within all of this for just a kind of a larger strategy of where this is going to settle out over the next few weeks so that it is the jump off point? Because I don't know if we're going to get a pattern against this. We have this big bearish pattern, right? 23,146. If we adjust for the contracts, as it started today, I was saying 23,600 is spot on. So we're just letting that shake out. Okay, can we get a counter signal? Because the best situation for a breakout is to break out and fail a pattern such as this. I think it's going to need a little more time, but the NASDAQ situation here is, we've talked about this all summer long, 23.6, maybe 23.150 of this version of the bat without adjusting for contracts. Okay, 23.150. And we could go into a sideways pause. This is the other consideration that we look at. It's extremely helpful to use the old 30 bar rule. So either from the level test, like here's the hop test, or there's confirmation, we'll generally make that assessment that, hey, we're not surprised if it goes 30 bars sideways. That puts us until 21st of the month. Just let it do its thing. Don't expect any kind of continuation, acceleration just yet. We got plenty of time to shake this out. But everyone should be focused on what happens above these levels. Yep. What's that? Can we look at, I'll go to those. I'll circle back. What's going on, Justin? How are you? No, it's not the canary. The canary pattern. That was so funny. Mitch and I did that canary pattern. It was like a 3-6-1-8, and it worked out. Oh, maybe I'll talk about that more on Thursday. I think it's a thing. Don't know. Couple more. Let me show you guys a couple things I'm looking at that are kind of immediate. I like this Webull disclosure alert. I am long this puppy, and we're printing patterns. Don't get too distracted about what happened a month or two ago. I think that was just, craziness, the SPAC adjustment. Here we are. We're printing patterns left and right on this on the hourly basis. When we talked about this back in June, it was a big shark at about 11:50, 12 to 11 generally. A couple signals down there at 10:50. I'm fine with that. Now we have a continuation bullish shark on Webull. And again, I mentioned this with a lot of other crypto. The fact that we're printing these higher level dots here and there, good continuation. You know, surge up, retrace, surge up, retrace, surge again. Earnings coming up pretty soon. I think earnings are next week. Yeah, where did my earnings go? I think they're in a week. Regardless, I'll take it from here, trigger back to like 18, but the bigger possibility is go above 18. Take it in chunks. Couple more. What's up? Wayne wants to look at Celsius. And you guys, if you want to look at a couple of issues, pop them in now. Celsius, yeah, up here at the above the hop on, yeah, the daily, it's a Gartley, but now we've gotten oversold. And I'd be actually, this is one of these situations where, look, there's the Gartley that generated it, did the type 1 and the 2. Looks kind of sloppy, but it still did it. We ran to the hop at 43, and now we got oversold, believe it or not, about ready to fail that pattern. I would look at that as looking at the hop level like 43.50, right where we are. This should hold about here. This Gartley is pretty much toast, actually. It already failed. And remember, Celsius has been moving, recovering lately, a huge correction. Came back, weekly retested, and we start again. I like this one. It's one of my, I like in terms of recovery potential. I like that. I like Monster holding. A couple more. Mara. All right. Mara in the miners. There's Mara back down again. Until Bitcoin can rock and roll, we're going to expect these. Yeah, Mara is just... this stuff is so range bound. That's why when it was popping last time, back last month, I wasn't too excited. And I'm still not. I really want to see a stronger development. Maybe we get something here at 1566. Not to discourage you. My point is trade it. So we take it to target. That's about it. Not a bad spot. Today we're getting that check back somewhere around 15 on Mara. But I just think there's so much talk about this. Okay, but then when you look at the chart, it really tells a different story. You know, we're down here basically just grinding multi-year lows. We had the one huge move in 2021. That was it. Couple more. I don't mean to discourage anybody on that. I just think if you're going to hit those, trade them. Those are not trending. Those are recovery plays. Speaking about trending, not ready just yet, but Tesla, guys, is up here. Okay, we're still waiting for 267. That would be the type 2. I think we're going to get it. I mean, it didn't look like it wanted to give it up, but lower high again. And I've been waiting for 267. That's my dream final retrace move. Give me a dot and then we go. Yeah. Do I like the Baidu chart? It's nice, as they say. I can look at that, and I will hit gold there. What's up, Doc? Doc's Bets is here. What's up, Doc? Baidu, we know there's patterns, and this is look. This is one of the issues that has been kind of an underlying research point for me. Okay, we've nailed the harmonic pattern framework, obviously the type 1 and the 2, but at what point does something like this really get going off of this zone? clearly respecting the 85 support. That's your XA level. That's the multi-year 886. But when is that going to really pop? We got to get, look, you need to see Amplified and HSI running hard. I would say that, look, this right here, about 6 weeks ago, was the first point that we could see some kind of acceleration, but it's slow and slow and slow. Same with this little 50 development. We're trying to get above the 50. No thanks. Doesn't get through. Get it back up that way, and then you can get moving. I mean, we saw that in Baba. Baidu is just a laggard, and the narrative sucks. I mean, the narrative is just like, hey, United States is about to go to war against China and Russia and all this garbage talk that they talk about. Aside from that, I want to see technical development. You don't have it. Meanwhile, Baba does have it. Baba, minus Jack Ma, whatever prison camp he's sitting in, has put in a higher dot. And I'm just talking technicals. I'll joke all day long, but serious technicals. Yesterday was the retest of the dot. Okay, that's a higher dot than here, which was almost higher than the prior one, but that makes this a potential continuation dot. We're still deep in the zone, and look at the weekly here. I mean, it's beautiful pattern work. Okay, it's a big bat pattern, but just taking its time. 2 years down here, you got to go off the dot triggers there, or a higher dot is of significance. So I would take Baba over Baidu, and we're still waiting for a T1. One or two more. SMCI. Yeah, we talked about that. Trying to break out above this T1. Not yet. We had a couple things at 60, and it got rejected. There you go. SMCI. I like this. Let me tell you why I like this. I'm going to show you one or two examples of things that have worked out quite well. We have this bat pattern, okay? We rejected 62. It was perfect. Let's get to 49. Finish the type 1 retracement. Fits within our August pullback scenario into September, and then go from like there. Okay? Type 1 reaction. Play the return and blast off. I like SMCI for a few reasons. The big patterns, and we have finally broken this multi-year downtrend. But let's get that retracement done. And it's a lot like Reddit. I brought up Reddit in the last 6 weeks or more. And now look. 886. I haven't changed that at all. I have not changed that. Look, it's like this. We had a really nice intermediate kind of bat pattern there, 163. We were looking for the pullback. We got a dot, which is typical sign where usually we're going T1 or yellow dot, whatever comes first. Okay, we got that. And what happened on the return? Just blow through. This bat has failed. We've blown through, and that makes 187 on Reddit your forward support. And I'm looking for full 886 minimum or higher. Go back, retest that. That's been the assessment all along. But that's really nice. AMD, is that tonight? What's up, Red? Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Really do. AMD, well, probably one of the best recovery candidates we've seen, because this thing was left for dead for 2 years. You know, had that big move up to 220, but look what happened. Bat to shark to bat to something else. We're up there. Look, we're T2. Target 2, 170, currently 176. But I would say for now, that's a hell of a move. More than a double in 3 months. You'd be chasing. Let's just give it a little time. Look, AMD's great. I love the semis. You guys know I love the semis. SOX index, pray for a pullback. That's all I got to say. We want to see a pullback in this market, this sector. How long have I been saying that the semis are going to drive this thing? You want to see NASDAQ higher, it's led by the semis. And look what happened. Big bat pattern, looks familiar, similar to NASDAQ. We go to the hop level, and how do we have a bullish signal against a bearish zone up here? Yeah. It's because this retracement, that's all there is. That's it. Again, the breakout on SOX, and I mean generational decade breakout, comes above the crab. All right. We already did, it's tough to see, but we already did the type 1 and the 2. We're back up retesting this area, this general area. Probably better on the weekly. There you go. A dot last week, but not the same pattern, which is interesting. Let it digest. Again, SOX saying probably a little bit of a pause up here. Just let it shake out. 4-hour time frame. Not a lot. I'm not really worried. I think this, you're up here. You've had another heck of a run. The semiconductors have run. Huge. We just need to retrace something right off the top. I think you're stuck between like 5,100, 5,600, but the bigger generational move, guys, is going to come above these massive patterns. It's like, you get above the hop at 61.45. That's big stuff. For right now, I'll respect it. I'm just, kind of watching what goes on here. And if we look at monthly HSI, all of that's still pointing up. In the short term, I think, come on back a little bit more. I like that. Couple more. What's going on, Greg? Welcome. You're late. I'm joking. Lemonade. That's AI. It's up 30 today. That's a nice chart. Look at that, guys. Who put that up there? What's up, Mr. World Order, Old World Order? Thanks for posting that. I like that. This is one of those that got crushed. Long-term base, dare I say super base. Yeah. Don't have much. I mean, these are sleeper plays. Again, where's the last dot? 3 days ago, we had a bullish dot, and then they pop it on earnings. I would get that on the radar. I like what's going on there. I really do. Because something like that, once we clear the obvious resistance, could really get going. Couple more, and I'm going to get out of here. DOCN? What's that, man? Do you mean DocuSign or what's that? DOCN. Digital Ocean. What's that? Mr. Dr. Roar. No, that wasn't you. That was incredible. What is this? Digital Ocean? I'll have to take a deeper look. Again, we're scraping all-time lows since it came out public, but maybe we've got something here. I'll have to take a look at that. I'm not crazy about it, and I'll tell you why. It's because I would love to see a signal, like an HSI signal that's higher than like this yellow dot. There's a dot, but this secondary dot was still lower. We'll probably get a dot here on the next bar that could come higher. Why don't we come back to that? Here's MicroStrategy, MSTR. Oh, I know. We're just waiting for a dot on that one. Weekly overbought at the moment, but guys, it's more about the daily. Okay, today we're talking about these retraces. Today we're looking for triggers, bullish triggers to jump in for the next move. We might be there on MicroStrategy. That was last week with the earnings. It was the 31st. So we need a bullish candle. But somewhere around 375, I'm fine with that. I'm still targeting the 520 retest. We'll get it. It all hinges on Bitcoin, guys. Get Bitcoin running back up in the right direction. Fig. This is that new one, right? Yes, Figma. Straight up, straight down with the 886. Look at that. It went IPO. This is classic. So this was a new IPO, guys. And I've talked a lot about this. Just quick review. You get these IPO runs. They pop. All right. And they have their 886 moment. Their 886 reset. And now we can take a look. But we need an oversold trigger. So I don't, unless you got something or you're going to trade that early stages, you let it come out and do the 886 and then go. Are we oversold? Yeah, we are oversold, but you're a ways away. You're many bars. Bring that back on Thursday. We'll start looking. I did see that. There was a lot of hype around that. That's like Circle. And Circle did that crazy move and it came all the way back down. Remember that? Here we are with Circle back at like 160 retesting the lows. Remember this hop level? I think we're scraping that hop level too. Still. We had something like 180. I don't know. I have to come back to this. Yeah, I'll come back. Oh, it was the ETH chart. Right there. There you go. I'm still going to say trade this puppy. Oh, yeah, look at that shark. I don't have anything there yet. I mean, you got to give some of these more time. When they come out and they go crazy and sit all the way back down for an 886, a lot of times they're going to need time to resolve the oversold retracement. Probably the same here. One or two more. We'll get to the gold in a second. End phase. Jeremy, what happened to end phase? I told you guys, I have an end phase system and I love it. But these guys are getting killed. There's end phase. They're green energy. That's why. I know we had a pattern there, but that's 886 reset. All the way back down. Here, monthly's probably better. Incredible. So here's another. Sorry about that. Hold on. Let me fix this. Ah, great. Better. An example. This is an issue that came all the way out with the IPO, massive run, and at this point, all-time 886. Right where it is, 31. I'm going to say this, though. You're going to need a couple of green bars. You're going to need 2 months green. So just patience. I love the idea. I love the company, but what's the price? That just is not that. We know some of the solar are starting to make the comeback. This is a case where you need development. We have another oversold. We check back, but straight down. Red, red, red. Or even simpler, guys. Is it trending? What's the last 30 months? It's down like that. Put it on the radar. I'm not there yet, though. What's up, Matt? Matt's asking, he missed the start of the stream. That's okay. Hit the recording. Excuse the bad microphone. On the BTC, do you think the 113 bearish shark has been forming? Matt, go back and review what we talked about for Bitcoin. We're just waiting. We've got major oversolds. That's really the gist of what we're talking about today is we have a lot of oversold triggers that just generated yesterday. And so we're probably 2 or 3 more days of development before we can jump on it. We're close, 111. I'm fine on that. Yeah, Red. End phase does look like a shark all time, but we need more time. You need a green month. What's Cryptox? Wants to look at Builder. I like this. Finally. And check it out. We had a pattern down here. It was a bat. 2 bats. All right. But what's the deal? Yellow dot. First time today. Not necessarily trending, but it's certainly not at all-time new lows. I like this. I've liked this for a long time. It's just slow mover. I think anywhere under 140, you're okay. And the most recent bat pattern that triggered is probably done with this. So eye on that. I think that's also a more of a retail story. People aren't jumping on the retail just yet. GTX82 is asking me, how about pot stocks? I think you got to be high to be buying any pot stocks. Believe me, about 4 years ago, I was, and I fell for it, and I got burned, and I never went back. I'll show you. Really, it's like this. Where's Canopy? Where's Canopy? Here you go, CGC. Yeah, this is the problem with these stocks. There's Canopy, and I know that's after a split. That was a reverse split. There's Canopy. So if you're going to buy this, you better have a whole lot of weed on hand to ease the pain when this stuff, technically it'll operate as a business, but the stock itself is probably going to have to do another reverse split to get out of the job, get out of the scene, or at least stay on the exchange. I just don't, in this market, guys, why would we want to bottom fish when we've got so many clear trending winners? If this did something, maybe in 6 months, but I'll tell you where I bit and then really bit it was, where was it? It's like 4 years, like 2020. Yeah, here you go. CGC. I was trying to buy CGC. This is like 4 years ago, off of the massive type 2, and it was a fail. And why was it a fail? Because of this. HSI could never get above the 50 on amplified. Take that to heart. Right here, 21, 22. Come on, I want to maximize that. It's not maximizing, and now I just screwed it up. My point being, it never triggered above there, and now I just screwed that up. Hold on. Let me change. Let me go back to let me go back to a different one. There you go. Great. That's actually a better layout. Let me go to gold, guys, because if gold's going to run, if Bitcoin's going to run, gold's going to run. And what's the number on gold? Not that we have to really even be too concerned. 3350 is still the mass, the massive number going sideways up there. It's a pause, but you guys tell me. Trending or not trending, as in upside trend. And now the 3350 pause area, little bull flag, about to bust. Once we bust that, and I'll call it 3501, maybe even 3601, doesn't matter, gets us to 4100, and I'm going to stay with that. Gold to there. That's the call. I think it's a 12-month read, but I think it'll happen more like February or March because of the seasonality of gold. but nothing stops that. Gold is just firmly entrenched in a massive bull market. It is truly remarkable. And if you go back, remember what we've been saying all along, okay, that we're getting into this area of, we exceeded the 1618, like here, from there, okay, we took out the 1618 there, and we went extreme 2618. That's just above 4K. Gold's not stopping. And I think it's just a pause. It's a rest. If it was going to go down, we'd be under 3K already. It's just a big pause, long-term chart. All right. So, folks, let's give away one more 30-day package. Next person to type in HPC 30 will get you 30 days for the software, 30 days gold membership, and a 30% off. Okay? Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com for everyone else to get to a 14-day free trial. And if you have any questions, get over to me on the Discord. All right? Hook up there. Right there. Marcin, you win. So you got to connect with me, please. Send me your email, TradingView username, and full name in a DM, and we'll set you up. Everybody else, that's what I have for today. I'll be back Thursday with better volume, better sound. I hope you guys have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your day, and